Okay, so some of you can hear me. All right, great. We're going to get started in just a couple minutes. I wanted to make sure the mic works before we did that. So, but it looks like everyone's quiet now, so maybe we'll get started now. That's the most challenging part of the hackathon. So, okay, well, welcome to the hackathon. Great to see so many familiar faces, also a lot of new faces here. We were here last year, same room, same place. There's just more of us this year, which is great to see. So for those of you, if this is your first time here, we kind of just self-organize, find a table where your project is. If you're having problems finding the team you wanted to work with, or you aren't sure which team you want to work with, don't worry about that. We figured that out this morning. And if you want to, you can come up, see me. I'll help you find the right people here. So don't panic if you feel like you're not where you need to be right now. We'll get you there within the next half hour or so. So with that, actually, I'd like to bring up Alyssa Cooper, IETF chair, to kick off this hackathon.
Good morning. Welcome, everyone, to the IETF 105 hackathon. I'm really excited to see another full room. We have more than 330 people registered for this weekend. So if you haven't found someone to work with yet, I'm sure that you will. Can I just see a show of hands of for whom is it their first IETF hackathon? Oh, wow. A ton of people. Okay. And who's been to lots of these? Okay, so you're commingled. So if you're new and you need some advice, you can just turn to the side and find someone who's been to lots of hackathons. Or if you have questions, you can, of course, come ask Charles or myself or others who will be floating around at the front of the room here. We have a couple of new additions for this hackathon in particular. First, I want to say a big thank you to ICANN, who's sponsoring this hackathon and has committed to sponsoring the next 3. So thank you very much, ICANN. I know that in the run-up to this on Twitter, some people were under the impression that there is, quote, free food all day long at the hackathon. It's not actually all day long. Our secretariat staff had a bit of a heart attack when they heard that people thought there was free food all day long, but there is a lot of food that is provided here and other great services. So if and we can't really do that without corporate support. So if your company, your employer is interested in potentially sponsoring the hackathon, please come see Charles or myself, and we'd be more than happy to talk to you about that. We also have a new supporter providing some software licenses at this hackathon, NovaFlow. I think the NovaFlow people are back there. Yes, thank you, NovaFlow. Helping get some projects off the ground, so we really appreciate that. And then lastly, I think some people may be familiar with the women's community at the IETF, the IETF Sisters. To make it a little bit easier for the sisters to meet each other as early as the hackathon weekend, we've denoted a table in the very far back corner during lunch. If the IETF sisters want to gather over there, you can find each other, network a little bit over lunch. And I think that's all we have new this time. So I will get out of the way and turn it back to Charles. Thanks.
Okay, well, thank you for that. And so Alyssa already asked how many of you it's your first IETF hackathon. I'm just wondering for how many of you this is your first time you've ever been at anything the IETF does. That's a good number too. Okay, well, great. I think you picked a good start. Hopefully this will be a fantastic introduction that makes you want to do more and more with the IETF. So welcome, and we'll be certain to give even extra help and guidance to you. But this is a great way to start. I'm going to skip through these other ones. So the goal of all these hackathons is really we want to advance the pace and work that we're doing in the IETF anyways. The work we've done around all defining standards, and if we come here and we write code at the same time, we test things out, right? We see if what we're standardizing works. That's a great way to really improve not only the quality, but to get it done more quickly. So that's the goal with all these projects in one way, shape, form, or another. But also it's very important that we help new people come into the hackathon. So any of you who are leading projects, we have a couple that have identified themselves as being projects that are particularly good and welcoming to newcomers just due to the nature of those projects. Yeah, you can look for those on the wiki. There's a little star next to them. One's in the corner over here for measurements, and then there's one with Yang. And now the goal is that you have some background already that's going to help you with the project, but they'll help you find interesting and ways for you to contribute to those projects. So, and but that should be true for just about any project here. And again, if you have a hard time finding a project, come see me. I'll help you out. The note well, for those of you, if it's your first IETF, you might want to take extra time to read this. But everything we do in IETF falls under the note well, and that's true for the conversations, presentations, things we do here as well. Now, the code that you're working on, you should take a look at that. There's generally some kind of license associated with that, hopefully an open source license. That's separate from the note well. The code you work on, it's not an IETF contribution necessarily. It's just you have to look at the license that's associated with that code. And if you need help with that too, I'm happy to talk with you about it. The agenda. So we started pretty much on time. This is being done on MeetEcho. There's a MeetEcho session. That's only going to be for this kickoff part, and then we'll have it again at the end when we do the presentations. We will have lunch being brought in. That's at 12:30, and there's some dinner will come in too at about 7 o'clock. So it'd be great if you have time and are able to stick around and have dinner with us and continue to work on your projects. But really, manage your own time. If you need to go to a meeting or something, or if you just want to have a dinner with friends, we understand that too. But know that we're bringing the food in to make it as easy as possible for you to continue to work on your projects. And then at 10 o'clock, we'll close the doors. We should be able to lock this room. I wouldn't leave any personal valuables along, but if you brought some equipment that's hard for you to lug around and set up, you should be able to leave it here. We're going to leave obviously the APs, the switches, all that stays in here. So it should be a fairly secure room. Then it'll reopen again at about 8:30, maybe a little bit earlier tomorrow, so you can get in here. And again, lunch will be provided. Now, one thing I want to let you know about is, although the hackathon doesn't actually end until 4 o'clock, around 2 o'clock, we ask that people kind of wrap up what you're doing and set it aside so that we can have some short presentations about what you achieved, right? What are the results? What things did you learn? What are you going to bring back into your working group? So the thought is at about 2 o'clock, we break to do that. And I think I have some other slides where I'll go into that in more detail. That will be broadcasted on MeetEcho and recorded. Yeah, so those presentations, they are meant to be very short. Think about that we will probably have 30 or more presentations, and we want to get through them all. So we're talking 2-3 minutes at the most. Just some highlights so people understand the space you were working in and what you learned, and kind of give them that reason to come talk to you more, right, and learn more. It's just a great way to share information across groups here at the IETF. So we do have an IETF Hackathon GitHub organization, and within that there is a repo for IETF 105 project presentations. And in order to make it easy for us all to show those presentations and to share them and to have them afterwards, I ask that you basically put your presentation in this repo. In order to do that, you're going to need to be a member of the IETF Hackathon GitHub org. That's very easy to do. Just you can send me an email and I'll add you to that. But if you're going to be the person uploading the presentation, please make sure that you do that as soon as possible, because on Sunday things get a little crazy and I may not have access to my laptop. I may have a hard time adding you. So if you're not a member already and you think you're going to be the one responsible for getting your project up there, there's some instructions about exactly how to go about doing that. It's basically email me though, and it's pretty straightforward. And then you should be able to upload your presentation there. And if you have any questions, just come see me. I'll help you out. It's pretty easy. So after the hackathon ends, we still have some other opportunities for getting together to work on code and to share code. The one thing is this hack demo happy hour. And this is, you only had those 2 to 3 minutes to share your presentation. But now if you want to have, it's actually like an hour and a half, right? Where you can demo what you did, have others who aren't here at the hackathon come and see what you did and talk with them about it. This is the opportunity to have those in-depth conversations. So it's Monday evening. It starts at 6:10, ends at, what's it say, 7:40. So it overlaps a little bit with some of the IETF meetings, but it extends beyond the end of the last meeting, I believe. So hopefully that provides a good, convenient time for everyone to get together. It's not in this room. Oftentimes it is in the same room as the hackathon. Instead, it's upstairs, I think one flight in the Park Mont Royal room. So, and if you want to do that, you have to make sure that you've registered. There's a link in the wiki for that. Make sure you register by noon on Monday so we can set up the space accordingly. And that's open to everyone who's here at the hackathon, and anyone can come and attend. So the other thing is we'll have the code lounge in case you just want a convenient space to continue to meet and work on code. And this will be set up throughout the week in that same space that the Hack Demo Happy Hour happened, upstairs. And you can sign up for that, but you don't have to. The sign up is just meant as a convenience, right? To make it easier for you to work together with your team, let others know when you're going to be there. But you can just drop in anytime as well. And we thanked our sponsors. Again, just thank you very much. We wouldn't all be here and be able to do this if we didn't have the great help and support of the sponsors and our supporters. And Alyssa mentioned Twitter. It'd be great if you do share some information out there, fun things, cool things, things you learned, whatever, photos from the hackathon. The hashtags we use are IETF Hackathon, and then put the IETF 105 hashtag in there too. It just makes it easy for people to find. And with that, any questions? Again, you're welcome to come up and ask me afterwards, but if you have a question that everyone would benefit from, I welcome that now as well. Okay, great. Well, thanks very much for your attention. I'll let you get back to what you're doing. You can see this is a picture from last year. Looked a little similar, but not quite as full as this year. So enjoy, happy hacking, and thanks for being here.